Welcome to part two. We're joined by Liam from Rotherham. Women loving men want to be him. I hope you like the thumbnail. It's me and Adam Smith, who used to work at Sky. Uh, we've got to have a laugh, haven't we, Liam?
Yeah, let's have a laugh or cry with boxing.
Oh my God, it sent you crazy, wasn't it? Absolutely crazy. Not that I'm saying Adam Smith's got anybody tied up in his dungeon. I mean, he don't look the type, does he?
Oh
To
no, definitely not.
be behaving like Jigsaw or all that. But you can tell a few whoppers. Uh, now that the dust has settled with the Turkey and Dana White monopoly or trying to monopolize boxing, a few things have happened. Eddie Hills, the 7-0 Iceman from Billericay, five by way of course, he's come out and he said that he relishes a battle between him and Dana White. I noticed he didn't mention Turkey, but when he does mention Turkey, Eddie doesn't call him His Excellency no more. He just calls him Turkey. Bricktop's come out saying he wants to work with everybody. It's all good. So he's playing the game. And Spencer Brown has come out and said he's doing a tour of Australia with Tyson Fury, and Tyson's not going to fight this year. And Oscar De La Hoya's come out. He's gone against Turkey and saying that he shouldn't disrespect the WBC. Do you feel, Liam, that there's enough boxers in the world, 24,000, and there's only how many? There's 1,900 UFC fighters, and Dana's got 650. So, do you feel that boxing will still move on with, if everybody doesn't sign for these?
Yeah, I think it will. I think the levels will drop massively, um, and it'll be interesting to find out where loyalties lie with certain promoters. See if they're chasing money or see if they stay loyal to the promoters. Um, yeah, I think give it another year or so, we'll be back to how we were 10 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel that it's took a bit of a knock in UK because and it was horrible for me the other day to point out Dennis Hobson's next three shows with Fight Academy, but when you've got guys ranked 2,000 and fighting guys ranked 1,200 and it's all the way across the board on the shows, it's the dregs of boxing really, and is that where we're at now? It's
Yeah. Well, I look on BoxRec every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I look on BoxRec and see what's happening in UK, and there's nothing. There's
yeah,
nothing. There's no shows where you'd think, oh, I'd like to buy a ticket and go and watch that. There's none.
none.
I think that's why most people now they sign up to the Zone or TNT or whatever, and they sit in their house and sit on set and rather watch it that way. I mean, one thing for Turkey has put big fights on, but after all these big fights are done, what's next? There's
Yeah.
no up and comers, is there?
No, they don't know that they've got the cream, and what problem you've got now? Anybody who's got a fighter who's 12-0, 13-0, they don't put him in with anybody who's similar. So it's a 50-50 in case they lose that appeal to go out there as an undefeated. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, everyone's scared to death of losing the zero.
Yeah, because they all want to get to Saudi, don't they? So what we've got now, we've got, we've got like I don't mean any disrespect to Elvis Doob. You know who Elvis Doob is, don't you?
Yep, yep,
He always, or your Willie Warburton types, they always seem to be dug up. As like move around men, aren't they? Basically, they're there to
yeah,
bit of experience to the up and comings and that. We've got move around men fighting move around men, and basically, it to me is white collar. I know that sounds harsh, but that's just how it is to me. I don't think, and I think it's sad. And the prices that people are paying now to watch professional boxing, you've got men that are never, ever, ever even going to fight in an eliminator for an area belt or even win a master's belt as chief supports, and it's shocking. And I think it's had a knock-on effect down the line. Do you agree?
yeah. Uh, nobody watches small old boxing. I don't know anybody now. I mean, when there used to be shows on at Doncaster Dome or Magna and stuff, uh, either I went or a couple of mates, we all get together and go watch a bit of boxing. It's last things on people's minds now. They're just not interested. I'm not interested in watching them kind of shows.
I went to that one last show I went to, well, last year, and Yui were fighting, and it was at Magna, and I got VIP'd from them next door. That Izzy's show, GMB. I know Izzy's all right. I went, and I'm not digging Izzy out. He's making best of a bad job, but I thought it was absolute pony what I watched. Absolute pony macaroni. And I left at 9:45. Thought it was shite.
Yeah,
Best
is
part
it?
of hot food. The food were fantastic. They had all that red carpet and all that into work food were and all that if you were VIP'd up and that. And they ended up sitting me in front of Bombay Dave Caldwell. He was sat behind me with his missus. So, oh my God, I'm sat in front of him. You were nice as pie, but I had to be on my best behaviour. But the actual show and the quality of it was shocking. You wouldn't have got that 20 years ago. I remember having a chat with Clinton Woods, and he said he enjoyed the atmosphere and all that, but he agreed with me that boxing's got to change at that level.
Yeah, I agree. I remember the first ever boxing show I went to. It was Clinton Woods fight at Hillsborough Leisure Centre. Um,
Against
Glenn Johnson.
Glenn Johnson, I thought you were going to say Glenn. And do you know what? They went 1-1-1 for 36 rounds, all world title fights, and knocked
Yep.
absolute shit out of each other, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they both ended each other's career really.
They put miles on each other, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely. But going back to that show, I were enthralled by it. Even undercard, there were real fights. I can't remember anybody just. There probably was, but I can't remember it. Anybody just turning up, dancing around ring for 4 rounds so they can survive for the following week. Whereas that's all it is now. Small little shows, in my opinion, it's just survive, get paid at end at night, and you can box again in seven days time.
Listen, you've got move around men pulling up in 4-year-old Range Rovers to fight. The fighting kids who are up and coming who are going there in a taxi.
I
These
don't know.
move
And
around men are out 3 times a month at 2.5 grand a pot.
yeah, and not only that, these lads are up and coming. They're absolutely busting their gut selling tickets whilst training, and most of them are working as well, and they've got families.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the wrong way around.
Yeah, it's arsehole upwards, isn't it, mate? Do you think?
It is. It is. Yeah, I fell out with boxing 2 or 3 times over the last 20 years, and it always comes back down to the same thing, which is money.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Eubanks had, according to the Gads YouTube channel, Gareth A. Davis, aka Gary Glitter, he's now eating off the same plate as me, by the way. Mr. Dazone Talksport and got a column in Daily Mail or Independent or whatever paper he writes. I think it's Daily Mail, isn't it? Gareth A. Day or Telegraph, whatever it is, broadsheet. Gareth A. Davis has put it out on his channel that Eubanks finds 150. He's interviewed Robert Smith. Do you think Robert Smith will spend some of that money getting Gary Sykes his belt back? Because Gary Sykes
Absolutely no chance.
defence against Carl Johansson, and they're saying it wasn't a British title defence, but Julian McGowan has proof that it is, and the board has stolen because of the expense, over the belt. Do you think
Yeah,
they'll
you
go
got
and
no
get him
chance.
his belt? Think they'll get him his belt?
No chance. That's another year of
Expense.
fuel bills, expenses. Yeah, restaurants, nights out, meetings.
Yeah.
Definitely not going to see Gary Sykes, right? Are they?
No, no, no. And it's a shame that because Gary spilt his guts for British boxing, and if you go down the list of fighters and put what they're having for his defences to get the belt out right, and if you look, would you say Carl Johansson's a good defence at that time? I thought he was.
To be honest with you, at that time, Collie Hansen would probably be my last choice to fight because his punch power was phenomenal. He was a really good fighter. Yeah, definitely. It were a British title fight. I think it's listed on BoxRec as a title fight, as a British title
They the
fight. So
belt to the ring and they took the sanction fees.
yeah, yeah, definitely. He needs seeing right, Gary, because I've listened to your videos in the past, and apparently he's not been too good.
Well,
No, he needs looking after.
well, you'd think the board would get Gary Sykes his belt, wouldn't you? I mean, they've given Denzel Brown his area belt that took 30 years to give him. So they presented it to Denzel other night after 30 years. So why can't they give Gary Sykes his belt and put it to bed? And let's all give Robert Smith a big round of applause if he can do that. Just give that kid his belt and admit you made a clerical mistake, an admin error. That's all. I mean, look at it like this, right? The bookies at the time had it an even 50-50 fight.
Yeah,
So why
yeah,
can't they sign off on it that it were a proper defence? It's because it's what suits their narrative with what money they've got in the bank at the time. But yet, Eddie's digging them out this week for taking fees from Saudi and that. And obviously, because they give you bank a fine, but they're taking fees from Saudi. But Eddie wasn't saying that when he was taking Saudi money, were he?
no, it's all whatever suits you at that time. It seems to be like.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So let everybody get behind Gary Sykes and start emailing the British Boxing Board of Control, or just say what you want to Roberto Smith on Twitter and remind him about Gary Sykes's belt, because that kid will not be forgotten. He's spilt his guts, and he still holds the record with Andy Morris, done it for the most punches thrown in a fight in the UK. They still hold the record,
Yeah,
don't they? Is it over 2,000 punches or something like that in it?
yeah, it's the crazy amount of punches. It was brilliant, Gary Sykes, a brilliant boxer.
Yeah, yeah, it was fantastic, wasn't it? And do you know what? He deserves uh, his flowers, doesn't he? And we all know Gary Sykes won the British title, but he won it outright, and he should be able to keep that belt at home.
Yeah, should be on his mantelpiece as we speak.
Yeah, it should. It should. Uh, Eubank's fine. We know he's got a fine and that. What do you make of it all now? The dust settled and all that. Do you think it were all a bit scripted, or they've done it because they were told, look, you're gonna have to do something a bit special here to sell this fight here, because there's no belt on line, and pairing you are not worth a meg. Eubank shot to bits, and the other one's area stroke English level. So you think they were both in on it?
Yeah, I think it's all planned. I mean, the original arena all held 10,000 into it, and now this one's holding 60 odd thousand. So that's another 50,000 seats they've got to sell. So yeah, they'll try every tactic possible. Like going on Piers Morgan, that's just to sell the fight. That fake beef, it's all garbage, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. It is, in my opinion, as well. Absolutely, it is. Darren Till and Carl Froch. There's people saying that they might be going at it on Misfits. What do you think to that? Would you want to see Froch come back?
Um, no, no, stay retired, stay making YouTube videos, and nicking your one-liners. Uh, just because it can be a legacy ending if you lose a fight like that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Do you think Anthony Joshua should get a shot at the WBO if it becomes vacant? As he,
No, it should be Joseph Parker, Caballel.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Joshua should probably be fifth or sixth on the list, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, the Gad's saying it's going to be Anthony Joshua. He's also saying Vladimir Klitschko and Caballel's in talks.
I don't listen to anything the Gad says. I can't stand that bloke.
Do you think that people feed him bits of bullshit so he puts it out there and looks stupid?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's a bit of a puppet. I think he gets used and abused and he doesn't realise it.
Yeah, I do. He's a bit of a fanboy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a strange bloke. I wouldn't have him in my house. I know that much.
Very strange indeed, old Gary Glitter. Anthony Joshua's 6 months out of the ring, though, and he ain't got an opponent. Do you feel that he's parked up, Liam, at the moment?
Yeah, who can he fight? Where he's not going to get ironed out or he's not going to get moaned at for it being too easy. I don't know who he can fight.
I think he's just waiting for a two-fight deal with the Gypsy King.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. And don't be surprised if he announces something, Tyson Fury, that he's going to be boxing in November or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they're saying he's out for rest at year, Tyson Fury, so all summer and maybe some autumn. Spencer Brown's doing a tour around Australia with him, an evening with the Gypsy King. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he'll be fighting again. I think October, November time, he'll be in ring. Maybe with Cabell.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Joshua's last world title win was an old man in Pulev in 2020. It's now 2025 and he's parked up now. It looks to me like it's all over for Joshua. Now, I'm not saying it because I'm not a Joshua fan. I'm not. I don't like him. When Dwyer put him on Button Moon, I had an orgasm. I thought it was fantastic. I don't like him. I think he's a fraud. His CV's fraudulent. If you look at his CV, who's his best win?
Uh, 40-year-old Klitschko.
41, coming up 42, actually.
Yep. Well, that makes it even worse.
Yeah, 18 months on the settee after Fury schooled him in his 69th fight. And in life and death, and he got dropped against Vladimir. That's Anthony Joshua's best win. Who's his second best win, Liam?
I think
He hasn't got one, has he?
you'd have to say Povetkin, but yeah, he's another old man
Well, his best
who
win.
buzzed him up, bashed him up first couple of rounds as well.
Yeah, Povetkin was a former regular champion. Pulev never had a belt at the time, but he went on to blag of regular recently. An old man as well. They're probably his best wins, aren't they?
Yeah, I've never been a Joshua fan. I think it's um, just been marketed absolutely fantastically from day one.
Yeah, and they're still hanging on to him for dear life, aren't they, Matchroom?
Oh well, he's the only cash cow now. I don't know who else they've got that can generate that amount of money in one fight. Um, so they've got to park him up and get a like you say, get a 2 fight deal with Tyson and Fury, and then they guaranteed 2 more big paydays.
Yeah. Uh, I keep hearing from people, Adam Cattrall, Gary Glitter the Gad, uh, Darren Barker, people like that, people in the industry who should know better, that Eddie Hills, the 7-0 Iceman from Billericay, five by way of course, is the best promoter ever. Can somebody explain to me why Eddie Hills has never made Joshua against Wilder and Joshua against Fury if he's that good? Is it because they're scared to death to put Joshua near them guys, or are they just poor promoters? I mean, why can't they make them two fights? Fury and Wilder fought 3 times, but Joshua's not been near any of them. Why is that, Liam?
I think, as we were saying a minute ago, well managed, well promoted, well marketed, and if it had took a big KO loss against Wilder, which a couple of years ago I think would have happened, and I think Tyson Fury had boxed his head off and stopped him late as well, then where would he go? What money could he generate after being bashed up?
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, mate. I agree. They wanted to keep him earning, but keep spinning narratives with their friends in the media. You know, your Coogan Cassius's and your that gerbil looking, odd looking thing, that Puppy Parsons, and all these other people that want access. And the main problem for me with this is they're all in on it because they all know it's garbage. We all know he didn't fight Ortiz. We all know he's not fought Wilder or Fury. But then again, Fury wouldn't fight Ortiz. He wouldn't even fight David Price. He waited it out for Vladimir. Fury were off of Vladimir after he beat Chisora at first time. He waited it out, didn't he? Years.
Yeah, yeah.
And I suppose that they're in the rights to do that, but don't tell us that you're goats. Because when I look at Fury's CV and Joshua's, Fury's is probably better, even though Joshua's got more better wins. But there's an asterisk next to all of them, really, isn't there? Apart from Fury's Vladimir win and maybe the two Wilder wins. All the others are all asterisks near them, isn't there? Charlie Martin, Povetkin, Pulev, Ruiz. Oh my God, Parker, the Stinkinator. Am I saying that win's not looking too bad now, is it? But who's Parker beat apart from a fat Bacoli? I mean, a Bacoli as big as Daddy Fudd, and he's beat out of shape Chisora a couple of times, and You know,
It's funny that I'm just watching Parker Bacoli because I watched it since it was live. I can't believe it. His tits are jiggling like something out of Baywatch every time he throws a jab.
yeah, did Zhang fight Parker as well?
He did, yeah.
Yeah,
He dropped Parker twice as well, and then lost. Then just went out of steam.
Parker, yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, Parker, you'd say, is the informed guy, but they're fighting old men. I mean, Muhammad Ali were finished at 38. Look at the state of him. These are in the 40s, your Chizoras and your Zangs and them, aren't they? And Bacoli's heading for 30 stone. I mean, I know he was
Yeah,
over 22 stone, but, you know, is that best they can offer? I just think it's a bit embarrassing.
it is. I was looking the other day, uh, um, uh, uh, looking at middle of the road fighters from generations gone by, and I think such as even Burt Cooper, I think he'd blast all these heavyweights out that we've got today. That's the difference. It's I don't know. Heavyweight boxing at the minute is rubbish, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yep, it
I
is.
do, yeah. Apart from Usyk, who just bamboozles everybody. Uh, I mean, shape that people are turning up in. I know Joshua looks like a Greek god, but as soon as he gets touched, he's gone, isn't he?
But Frank Bruno did
The
blow his
Coley,
ass after 5 rounds, wasn't
yeah, yeah. So at the minute, I think, like you said, Parker is the informed guy. I'd like to see him do well as well. I'd like to see the Dubois rematch, but I can't see it happening. Too risky for Dubois.
he? Yeah, it is. Do you want to go on to part three, kid?
Yeah, we're there in a sec, pal.
See you on part three. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. If you'd like to come on Porky's Corner, feel free to email me, porkycorner@mail.com. It's at the bottom right hand side of the screen, or is it left hand side as you look at it? And I hope you like my picture of me and Adam Smith on the thumbnail. We'll see you on part three. Booyaka. Big shout out to Peter De Freitas. Hope you're well, Peter. Get you on this week. Pop, pop, bang.